Maybe it would help if I took my microphone off mute. You know why I had it on mute? Because I was watching the boxing with volume on. But good evening to you all, you beautiful people. I was just saying, I feel like the live queen. I've never been live so much in 1 week. But thank you very much to those of you that are joining in. You know what it is? It's Queensbury night. And I'm just watching this card, Royston Barney Smith in the ring at the moment, going in with an opponent that's slightly older than him, but experienced. A nice watch. I like watching Royston. He's a very good boxer, skilled boxer, nice southpaw, and knows how to turn his shots over. As you can see, I was deeply engrossed in the boxing match. But anyway, good evening to you all. What a turn of events of boxing. I know you guys have been on Twitter this evening because I have. But before I do that, I've got to say hello to you lovelies. Jack, how are you? Good evening. Fight fan Danny, Lex, good evening to you. Jesus, good evening to you. Happy Friday as well. And good evening to our moderator, Chris Welsh. You know what? Should we go to X? So if you guys have been following my channel and you've seen that I've done a couple of lives with Gareth A. Davis, he's hinted that Wilder and Zhang would be back. He's been hinting it for about 2 weeks. Obviously, he couldn't let the cat out of the bag, but obviously he was privy to that info because now it's come out that we've got Wilder Zhang. I think it was leaked and then TNT Sports put something out and it's like finalizing the contract. So it's not like it's a done deal, but we're almost there and it's going to be on June the 1st on the undercard of Beterbiev Bivol. Beautiful. No problem with that. So we've got Beterbiev Bivol at the top. We've got Wilder Zhang now getting talked about being on that card as well. Not 100% confirmed, but I'd say we're what, 90, 95% there? Maybe. Then, now I'm hearing, let's have a look. Somebody's just sent me a DM. Hold on, here we go. Hrgovic Dubois, and that is ESPN. Hrgovic Dubois finalising bout. So this is, when they say finalising bout, this is obviously because loose lips sink ships. There's people out here talking. So they've got to now push that info out. Hrgovic Dubois finalising bout for June 1 in Saudi Arabia. Now, why this is beautiful and I love it, but this is supposed to be the 5v5. So how many fights are we actually going to get on this card? June the 1st, in my head, it's literally Beterbiev Bivol 5v5. So that's it. So I'm like tunnel vision, no room for anything else to happen. And then we get a potential announcement of 2 other fights. I don't know. What are you lot thinking? Let's have a look in the chat. Yep, Jesus, this is exactly, we're going straight in for the neck. Yep, in Saudi. But are they going to be are they going to be part of the 5x5? Because Bivol's not Bivol, Beterbiev's top rank. So does it have to have that theme? Does one of the fighters have to go with Eddie and the other one have to go with Frank Warren? I don't necessarily think so. I don't think that is part of the 5-5. You can say even Hrgovic. Who is Hrgovic signed to? He was with Wasserman. I know Matchroom's done some work with him. Also, you could say the same for Zhang. So it might not necessarily be that straightforward. So when you're saying that Hearn signs Wilder, I don't know. Does he? Do you know the payday? No. There you love the figures, don't you? I don't know. Those are things I'll leave the other boxing enthusiasts that want to look at go on the deep dive with like gate numbers, pay-per-view and all of that stuff. I let them do that. I don't do all of that stuff. So no, I have no clue. Raj, how you doing? Good evening and shout out to yourself as well. Saudi's doing, this is from Raj, Saudi's doing a better job than Matchroom and Queensbury. It's collaborative, Raj, because they're all working together, aren't they? They are all working together, and both promoters have said, quite open and honest, both of them have said that when you've got these grade A fighters, it has a knock-on effect for the rest of the card because the card is top heavy. So you end up paying out this money because of the demands that the fighters want. And so the lower the card, the lower you go down the card, the undercard may not stack up to that. And we do know that this is true because look what we're supposed to be having. We're supposed to be having Bourke versus Yard, and we're already getting tweets out, X's out saying that, one side is demanding this and making unreasonable demands. Not the exact words, so don't quote me on that. But this is the issue that we have. So when it comes to Saudi and the collaborative work, money's not really an issue, is it? And that's why we're getting those fights. But we couldn't get those fights without the stables from Queensberry and from Matchroom. And obviously we've got Beterbiev from Top Rank. So credit to them all for working together. We spoke about this when I was on live with Blue Bloods the other day. Looks like Royston's got the nod. I've missed that. I'm trying to catch up with this chat. Well done to Royston, Barney Smith. Yeah, we spoke about that the other day. It could be a play for them to get over to Saudi, but I've said it once and I've said it before. I don't know Turki Al Sheikh, His Excellency, personally, but the vibe I get from him is that he doesn't want to be told what to do. I mean, it's beautiful, that fighters want to make demands, but I don't think he's that guy that's going to say, yeah, all right then, you can have what you want. We saw what happened when Gervonta Davis made like certain demands. He just said, forget it then. So maybe Canelo's going under that route. We said, 150 to 200 million for him to fight Benavidez. Unrealistic? Maybe not in this day and age, not when the Saudis have got that money to spend, but Canelo's done it more respectably because he said, any promoter that I have worked with before, if they want to put up that kind of money, I'll fight him. So there's respect in the way that he's done it. He hasn't made any demands as such. Let's have a look. They said that Bivol Beterbiev is not part of the 5x5. The 5x5 will be the undercard to that fight. We'll see how it goes because it's shifting. It's shifting, Chris, and you can't say that it isn't because we're already starting to get fights on it when we haven't had the weights announced. They're with separate promotional companies. So is that part of the Matchroom versus Queensberry, as I say, in alphabetical order? Hrgovic will go with Matchroom. Eddie hinted at that. Okay, so James is on job. He's catching up with what I know. He said that he's worked with Hrgovic before. So yeah, he did say that earlier on. Hrgovic has been fighting on Hearn shows in the past. So yeah, that makes sense. I look like an economics teacher. I've got a ruler somewhere, a calculator. Well, if you're naughty, you know what's going to happen, don't you, James? You're going to have to go and sit in the corner with your hands on your head. But I'm going to try and keep this chat clean. Good evening to you, Dodge. Hope you're well. Canelo only gets that money in Saudi. Hey, let's have a look. Boxing pound for pound, Jack. Did anyone hear Ebony Bridges saying stuff about Eddie Hearn, supposedly? Rumours are spread by many. Pardon? No, I haven't heard that. No, I don't know. Anybody in the chat, if you want to discuss that? No, I haven't heard that. I spoke briefly to Ebony Bridges, I think, when Craig Richards fought it feels like a couple of months ago. I don't even know if it was this side of Christmas. But no. I don't know what's happening with Ebony. I think she was calling out a Misfits fighter, and that was the last thing I saw on the internet. Yeah. So that was the last thing I saw of Ebony. So tonight we've got, to be fair, this is quite a good card. And I've come on so late because I know that Frank Warren's cards can go on late. However, it seems like they've switched Moses Atuma with Royston. Ben Davison's earning some money tonight. That's the second time He's been in the corner. The first one was for McCormack's debut. Good to see him get out because I've seen him at a couple of press conferences with his twin brother, and it's like I'm just waiting. So it's nice to see that he's popped his professional cherry. Royston, definitely another good fighter as well. I'm starting to calculate it now. Ben's got quite a few fighters in that stable. Right, here we go. Hergovich is signed with Keith Connolly. Most likely he's signing with Queensbury, if anybody. Interesting take. So Chris is saying all he heard, and this is in regards to Ebony Bridges. She wasn't happy with the purses she had for fights on her and shows. Interesting. I don't know. Bridges is not working with. Let's have a look. Bridges is not working with Matchroom anymore. I think she said she wasn't paid well. So that's somebody else that's reiterated it. Maybe I need to jump on the latest Ebony Bridges interviews and see what's happening with her. I know that she, after the loss, there was a little bit of radio silence. I don't think she was doing many interviews. But I have seen a couple pop up. So thanks for the heads up. I'll go and have a look and check those out. Shout out to Frank Warren in his dapper outfit. Is that a double-breasted jacket or a coat? Looking nice in the blue, standing ringside, obviously praising his fighter. And because I've got it on the laptop, I can't put any volume on it at all. So I'm not even going to try and lip read what they were saying. All right, so Eddie Hearn said it, not Ebony. It's one of them then. It's one of them. I don't know. The thing is with boxing, we never really know what the fighters are paid. It's kind of kept hush. It's kind of kept quiet. I get it. If you're in, really good cahoots with one, you'll find out. But other than that, I could not tell you what a fighter gets paid. Fair enough. You see like the big million whatever figures when it comes to the champions. But other than that, I don't know. Yeah, bless him. Steve Bont's there on the comms. So Moses Atuma is up next. Apparently, I think he's struggling to get opponents. A very short notice opponent he's got in. Somebody that's tipped by Frank Warren to, really soar in the heavyweight division. A kid that you can't really see a limit or a ceiling with at the moment. And that's kind of like what I go off when I look at a fighter. I think, interesting. Let's see where their ceiling is. How far are they going to go? So he's up next. I think he's recently another fighter, another heavyweight, obviously southpaw as well. He's been in camp with Tyson Fury in preparation for the Usyk bout on May the 18th. So much rests on that date. I'm not saying that Tyson Fury is somebody that feels pressure, but there's a lot of eyes. There's going to be a hell of a lot of eyes on him that night. I do think that, in a way, I kind of feel sorry for Usyk. Not going into this fight, but just on the whole, and only because he just doesn't seem to get any real credit. I don't know if it's because he's European and not English or American, but he's often kept in the shadows. And I'm talking about him as a boxer. Personally, anything else, that doesn't, that's not part of it. But as a boxer, I don't think he's given much credit at all. Let's have a look. Jack, I think Ebony makes close to 7 figures a year well, if the money's there, I guess that's where they go. Let's have a look. Fight Fan TV. Shout out to Danny. So we're looking at 8 fights. And we know His Excellency loves a heavyweight fight. So he'll have 3 of those on the night. Interesting. Jack that suggested it, and I think it was a really good suggestion. It's possibly going to be AJ Parker. If it's going to be on this card, we don't know, because I think Eddie said, let's pause on that. Let's wait until after May the 18th. Let's see what's going to happen there, because there's obviously suggestion about step aside. So the loser gets paid step aside money. to build to make this winner versus AJ. So we'll see what happens with that. But Jack made a very good suggestion and said that it could be the rematch between AJ and Parker. I like that fight a lot. Just like flipping off the top of my head and not really breaking it down, I have Anthony Joshua the slight favorite in that because of his aggression. Because I know that he's now like looking for these knockouts and he can box as well. I know what the fight was like with him and Parker last time, but that seems like 1,000 years ago. They're two completely different fighters at the moment. They've changed so much. They've both had a lot of experiences in and outside the ring. So I'm just gonna edge slightly to say Anthony Joshua's the favourite and he'll get the stoppage. Oh, here we go. Hold on a minute. Jack's on it. Let's have a look. I need Fury to be the underdog. Now he's the underdog. Interesting. What are the odds on it, Jack? Because I forgot you're kind of like our New York correspondent. What are the odds? And if you could do it in like baby terms, if I put a tenner on for Fury and he's the underdog, what would I get back? And that's the only way I'll understand it. If you start giving me odds numbers, over the head, because I don't bet, I don't gamble. Could be like the Day of Reckoning card. We had 8 fights on that. Yeah, I think we're probably going to build to another big card again. So yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look. Actually, Saudi wants AJ on the June card. Hearing 2 names, Parker and Caballel. Jack, who are your inside sources? We need this. Interesting. I like the Parker rematch. I really do. Dubois, Grant, it's Hergovich. They're also in negotiations. That's come out on ESPN. So it looks like it's going to be Dubois, Hergovich. Fair enough down the road, Dubois, Jared Anderson. But I think I fancy for Jared Anderson, Moses Atuma. That's who I fancy for Jared Anderson. Similar in age. That's a fight that I'd like to see. And I think him and Moses might be similar. I think Moses might be slightly taller, but I think as in size-wise, I think they're quite similar in stature as well. Yeah, I've got Jack on the brain. What can I say? No, it was a typo. It was a typo, I promise. Imagine. Yeah, let's not. I think it'll be Wilder v Zhang, Dubois v Hergovich, White v Parker. Nah, I mentioned something about that, about White, and I think Eddie Hearn sort of squashed it. Whoever that was speaking to me on X not too long ago, because I said White Sanchez on the card. I like that fight. But we'll see. So White Parker to... Nah, I don't think we're going to get White Parker too. I don't think they'll put AJ. And that's what I agree with you with that bit, Danny. I don't think they'll put AJ on that card, but anything can happen. I know they said that we're going to cool off and rest off until May the 18th. But he still could be in, who knows? He still could be in training. And by chance, the landlord watched Fury 3 times in Vegas. Jabbit Boxing, good evening. I don't think I've seen you before on here. Fury is minus 115. So if you put $115 on, you get an additional 100 if he wins. Okay. Thanks for explaining that. Because I don't understand betting. AJ versus a Parker 2, thank you. If it's him and Caballel. Yeah, Ajit Dunn, he boxed well last time. Considering he came in he was almost like indifferent when he came in last time. I don't know what you guys thought, but I thought, is this geezer even really bothered that he's there? And then he goes and pulls that performance out the bag. I was like, oh, I didn't expect that to happen. But then I had a few guys that have clearly watched Ajit before and said, "Oh yeah, if you thought um, his opponent was going to do that to him, you don't know boxing." Well, it's one of them, and I'll take the L. Joyce White, which is what we suggested. I need that whoever was on X that said Eddie sort of like dismissed White for their next card. Yeah, I need to. Oh God, I should have got Eddie on. Well, I should have got him on yesterday. I was supposed to get him on today, but I know obviously weigh in and all that stuff, and obviously I'm not there in Sheffield, so I was going to try and do something online with him. But I said, you know what, is just leave it. It's too busy, so I'm going to try and get Eddie on next week. And to be fair, I think it'd be more favourable if I get him on or Frank Smith on next week, because then we can try and catch up. Yes, I know there'll be several channels that'll probably be on that, and you may get all the questions answered that you want. But I still would like to, have that discussion and go over some stuff with him. But we'll see what happens. What are you saying? Chisora versus Char for WBA regular would be good for Chisora. What is happening with Chisora? We don't know. I don't know what's happening with him. Isn't Manuel Char fighting? Oh, who's Manuel Char fighting now? They've got a fight coming up soon. And my memory slips me. I can actually see the cards, but I can't see the name of the fighters. Good evening, G Chain. How are you? Oh, it was me. Eddie said no to White. Thank you so much, James. Jack Daniels James. Anyway, yeah, thank you. It was me that said no to White. Cabayel is definitely fighting soon. Okay, interested. So here we go. I like this. So AJ's just posted on Instagram. He's got a call from Saudi. Here we go. This is what it's gonna be Parker, isn't it? Place your bets in the chat. If I knew how to run a poll in here, I'd do it. But I don't. So what are we saying? Is he gonna be on June 1? And is it gonna be against Parker? No, I definitely wouldn't write Fury off at all. Not writing him off. I just think that it's not even that Usyk is they're writing him off. I just think that he's not really given any credit as a heavyweight, which is really weird. I'd never write. You can't. The thing is with the heavyweights, you just can't call it, can you? I mean, who has got who winning when it's Zhang and Wilder? You all right? Based on the last performance, you can say if it goes past 5, it favours Wilder. But in those first 5 rounds, can you call who can win that fight? Because we also know that Zhang can catch you with these. I think it's just his timing is good. The location of where he hits you on the face is really good, and you can go down from that as well. So let's have a look. Jack's getting this info. Hearing White won't be able to fight in the UK and Saudi. Interesting, as the Saudi fights are under the BBFC. White needs to settle his doping issue with the BBFC. Yeah. Well, I don't know, he hasn't had a BBFC license for a while. He said he's been fighting under the Texas organization. He's been fighting under them for years, so I don't know. I don't know with that one. How do you see Sandy Ryan against Terry Harper going? Close Sandy win, I think. Yeah, I think Sandy wins. I know that both girls have sparred, and no, I haven't heard any sparring stories because I don't. If I'm not there, and even if I was there, sparring is not something that I'd even think about gossiping about anyway. I've had people like message me when they know that I've been certain gyms and says, "Oh, how's that spar gone?" I said, "Yep, both fighters did really well." And that is it, blanket answer. Because guess what? When things get leaked out the gym, it's me that won't be able to go back in the gym and get some good content with the fighters. A lot of the content that I get with the fighters, the quality of it is when I'm in the gyms with them because I'm in their kitchen and they're preparing the food. But going back to that, I believe Sandy wins. Sandy's the favourite for me, but Terry's very technical. She's got good feet. Um, it's a good matchup, um, but I think the aggression from Sandy may stand in good stead. But there's no way I can underestimate Terry Harper's boxing because I like to watch her box. She's a good, solid, technical boxer. And as we know, she's come back to a weight where she feels comfortable at. And she said she's more or less walking around at that weight. So going up wasn't good for her. Fighting too light wasn't good for her. We saw that with Alicia Baumgardner. So she's at a weight that she's comfortable with. I think there's some suggestion that maybe Terry saw a weakness in Sandy because Sandy's like uprooted and gone over to a new management because she's managed by Katie Taylor's manager now. Lovely man. I met him briefly the other day. So she's in safe hands. She's speaking how she's so happy with the new team, that she's really well looked after. She's happy with the trainers. She needs to be away from home. She doesn't want to train at home because she spent so many years on the GB squad. Fair enough, it's in the UK, but she was never at home. So her uprooting to train in America's, it's what she prefers to do. So I don't think her uprooting and changing is going to be a hindrance. But who knows? Tomorrow night we'll find out, won't we? Oh, it's postponed. Interesting. Wonder why that's postponed. News coming in as we speak. Jabit boxing. Parsbert has apparently called off, I think, Chisora. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, cancelled. So it's all coming in. Thinking Piles, Pulev. See, James, I'm not the only one that gets typos. Pulev has been called Piles live on October Red. Chisora needs to allow it now. And Char is fighting Kubrat Pulev, by the way. Thank you. Just the names. Let's have a look. Dodge. It's Hergovich Dubois. Hergovich Dubois. Technically, Ireland is part of the UK, so White's situation is a weird one. It's one of them, isn't it? G-Chain, Raw, Dillian and Connor on refugee settings. I don't even want to see Bruce in this chat. Sandy by destruction or masterclass. Got Team Ryan in here. Sandy on points. Do you not think I think she's going to try and stop her, Well, I know Sandy will try and stop anyone. I think that's what she's going to try and do. I don't know. I just got a feeling. Northern Ireland BBFC, not mainland Ireland, that uses euros for currency, not pounds. Okay, fair enough. You lot are getting into the geography science and who pays for what with what. White has gone through the right way, though White stayed quiet while Mr. Ben was growling at people. I think Eddie covered that, didn't he? I think he was saying there's a massive disparity on how Conor Ben's been treated and how Dillian White's been treated. But then in the same breath, he says, I get it, because Conor Ben was more vocal. And like you said, he was out there and he was like, no, this is not happening. I'm not having it. This is what it is. Where Dillian, experience with these cases, kind of just took a step back and then let his team, legal team, scientists, whoever was on board to try and obviously prove what he said is contamination. So let's have a look. Chris. Ryan on points, but I think Ryan can stop her. So don't know why the volume's gone on that. No, I didn't get to manage. I didn't get to manage. No, I didn't get to speak to Eddie. I did apologise for that earlier. Obviously, his schedule's crazy. Yesterday, there was a lot of people waiting for him. I went over to, obviously, the gym to do the boxing in the community. Matchroom in the community, which I love, absolutely love that. And time just ran away. We were supposed to do something today. Sorry if I'm repeating myself in the chat. We were supposed to do something today, but that didn't happen. So I said, leave it, get fight week out of the way, and hopefully we schedule something next week, either with him or with Frank Smith. So apologies for that. We need answers from the BB of C. No good Hearn saying, yeah, we'll get it next week. And then, yeah, and that's the thing. And that's a frustration that Eddie faces. And he's actually said it now in his interviews. What's the point of me giving you a date? Because then when the date doesn't happen, I'm just going to get the backlash for it. Who knows what's going on with the BBFC? Obviously, we know that they've appealed the appeal decision. So I don't know. I don't know what's taking its time. Hopefully, we'll hear something soon, but I don't know when. But the thing is, Connor's still, he's going out, he's fighting abroad, he's still keeping active. 80% of the time, I like Eddie Hearn, and this is from Chris Welsh. 20% of the time, I don't with certain situations. I think that's just life, isn't it, Chris? I think we fluctuate on how we feel about people. Sometimes it depends on how we get out of bed or how we think they've treated us. It's our response is kind of like sometimes a knee-jerk reaction to how we've been treated, but we'll just have to wait and see with the politics of it. Who said? Did I ask? I can't do a poll. I'll have to do a StreamYard tutorial. Who is winning out of Wilder and Zhang? I need to find that out. Where's that gone? Jack, what happens with Ben Shalom? The guy is having a howler, involved with shady characters and pulling out of another purse bid. I think there was another article that was released, I don't know, maybe a week ago. Obviously, it's under a paywall, and I'm not paying for it. So I was waiting to see if anything would filter out onto X as it did last time. There's obviously the way that the information's filtering out. It is quite obvious that it's something. It's litigation, isn't it? This information seems to be sporadic and is coming out like once in a while, which would suggest it's coming out from something else. It's a follow-on from something else. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I haven't seen the last article that's come out. I do know that they obviously let Tyler, when it comes to purse bids, they let Tyler Denny. They lost that to obviously Matchroom, so Tyler Denny's waiting for Felix Cash. Don't know what's happening there. We know that Felix Cash left the Matchroom gym and was allegedly training with Adam Booth, but that's a purse bid that did go to plan. I think Eddie mentioned the other day, so I think that's credit to, I'm sure it's Boxing Social, or was it IFL? Credit to whoever did the, what am I talking about? It was at Matchroom HQ, where he said that Frank Smith has had a message to say that they won't be taking a fight with Dalton Smith. But at the end of the day, Dalton Smith has got his fight tonight. There's a good chance that they might wait and see how this fight goes for Dalton and then make a decision. It could be a number of things. But I definitely know that the Tyler Denny purse bids did happen. So, yeah. And the reason why Ben Shalom's not doing interviews, I've asked him several times, and he's not doing any interviews, and I don't even like calling them interviews, they're conversations. I think he's done them with a select few channels, and mine's definitely not one of them. So there's loads of questions that I'd love to ask, but I can't get answers. And it's like, sometimes I feel like I'm asking Matchroom questions that I need to be answered from Boxer, or there's loads of stuff. I've spoke to Savage Dan, and I'm like, he's like, oh, well, I can't answer that. And I'm like, well, I'd like to speak to Ben, but he's not doing interviews. So we can't like hold him down and force him to do it. So it's one of them. See what happens. Let everything play out, and we'll see what happens there. BBFC will have to show consistency. White should have to go through the same procedure Ben has, and yeah, that's fair. You can't argue with that, can you? Shalom won't do many interviews these days anymore, which is interesting. It's one of them, isn't it? Need Ben Shalom to get Buatsi in the ring with Yard. Are you saying that it's Buatsi's fault, G Chain? Are you blaming our Joshua Buatsi? Listen, we saw what came out on X the other day. It was, I think was it Team Yard that was saying that it's demands, which is what I was saying about. This is why we have problems with fights in the UK, because the demands from the fighters that want to be paid a lot, and then whatever money's left, they've got to build an undercard. So it's techie. Very, very techie. Smith is better than Azim at the moment, but still early for Azim, in my opinion. We know more about Smith tomorrow in the first massive step up to world level opposition. Totally agree with you, Chris. Tomorrow's a really good test for him, and it will show us where he is, and that's why I think maybe they might hold back. Boxer might hold back with Adam to see how this fight turns out, but I don't know. I ain't got a crystal ball. G Chain is getting his info, excuse me, off Tunde on Twitter. Yeah, we do need to get the deal done. Jokes aside, with all of it, it's a fight, and I know myself. We've been talking about this fight. I have for nearly 4 years now. 2020. So yeah, you might as well just say 4 years. Been talking about this fight, a fight that we all want to see. I think I even remember either they met up in a cafe or something. I might be hallucinating, but it's we'll do the fight when the time is right. So when I'm hearing the same thing in 2024, we'll do the fight when the time is right. No, that's not cutting it, because when is the right time? Just get it made. Get on with it. Like I exed earlier, it's just get on with it. You're either going to fight or you're not, because Beterbiev and Bivol are going at it in a bit. Top Rank, Queensbury, they're going at it in a bit. Just get on with it. So we'll see. Bruce, Boxing, Jazz, and more. I like that username. Good evening to you. Let's have a look. My guy Buatsi about to get a hat trick against number 1 Richards, number 2 Aziz, number 3 Yard. Yeah, we know that Jack's a massive Buatsi fan. I've always been a massive Buatsi fan, and I've always said Buatsi. I believe, this is my opinion. Everyone has different opinions. That Buatsi is the UK number 1, because that's just my opinion. And let's see what happens with Yard. Yard rocks him up, knocks him out, wins a fight, whatever. Yard's took the spot. You can't argue with that. And I won't argue with that. And I'll eat humble pie. And somebody might pause this, rewind it, record it, and play it back and go, told ya. Yeah, whatever. It's not that deep. It's like people get upset. Fans get upset about you having a different opinion to them. Just good evening to Base the Kid. Good evening. This year is the right time for me. Otherwise, we're going to go into Khan v Bourke category. And it's, far too late. And it's always like, I wonder if the result would have been different if they fought earlier. Don't get me wrong. I was there for Khan v Bourke, and I enjoyed it. It was an entertaining evening, and Bourke really did stick it on Khan, and you could see the state of him when he came out the ring. But we don't need it to get to that. Like I said, we're getting a beautiful fight with Beterbiev and Bivol. And shout out to Anthony Yard for fighting Beterbiev when many people wouldn't. You've got to give him his props. That's one thing I will say to him. It's either he's fighting right at the top, or he's just fight. There's no middle ground. But always, and that's why you can never question Like, does he want to fight certain people? But I don't know what it is with him and Boazzi, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, we're always on the same page with that, Jack. Mr. Flash, good evening. You think he beats Yard? Okay. And okay, Chris agrees with me that he's number one. Um, G Chain 2011 Khan would have beaten Brooke, and this is that's exactly it. And we'll never know, G. We just won't know, will we? We can sit here now and say, yeah, I reckon that would have happened based on, the memory info that we've got from each fighter at that time. But it was spoilt. All of that essence, that was all spoilt, and we never saw that. And it's a shame for the sport. I really don't want to see this happen with the boys, and I hope they can really pull it out the bag. I can imagine that Sky Sports want it on their platform. I can imagine Frank Warren's putting his heels down and saying, "No, Anthony Yard's the one that will draw the tickets." When you look at like the stardom of it, 100% Yard. You've got to give him his props. So I can understand, and me being a Boazzi fan, why Yard would be classed as the A side, as in like that presence, that social media presence. I get that. So maybe there's a bit of conflict there. Who knows? I'm not in the room. The closed doors with him for that techie discussion, but we'll see. We shall see what happens in the coming days. It'd be nice if that, and this is what I'm saying, it's like, oh, it can't happen in the UK. Get them out and get them on a Saudi card, but it just doesn't work like that. Otherwise, the UK, we're just going to end up not having any fights at all. Oh, one thing I did want to say actually, which I found it quite interesting. I've had a lot of feedback, and we're going to get back to the boxing in a bit. It's just that I think we had some housekeeping to do because I haven't been doing my weekly reviews. I can't even give you a reason why. So we're sort of like having a bit of housekeeping at the moment and catching up with the boxing. Um, when it comes to sellouts, who knows? I do believe that Yard has got a bigger fan base than Boazzi, based on Boazzi's kind of like he just wants to get on with it and do the work. Where Yard is this flamboyant, he's got this character. I don't know if it sells out the old two. It just depends on who else is on the card. I mean, what on earth? What on earth is happening with the bout between Chris Billam-Smith and Richard Riakporhe? We've still not had a date for that. A world championship fight. What's happening with that? We've now got a date of a Coley fight in, is it Ryazanski that fought Alan Babic in Poland? That's been announced. He's gone up to cruiserweight. There was always a suggestion that he was going to go up. It's like, oh, okay, a fight in Poland, okay. Well, what's happening over here? Somebody said, oh, that fight might be on the undercard of Boazzi Yard. Imagine, it's crazy, isn't it? And this is what I'm saying about the social media presence. A world title fight could go on the undercard of Boazzi Yard. Insane. Let's have a look. Base the kid. I wouldn't be surprised. Queensbury, loan Yard over to Boxer. I know they're not very happy with him right now behind the Base, you can't come in the chat and just say that. And I'm going to leave that highlighted on the screen. Base the kid has said, I wouldn't be surprised if Queensbury loan Yard over to Boxer. I know they're not very happy with him right now behind the scenes. I don't mean to sound like Dr. Umar repeating things twice, but do you want to elaborate on that? Because stuff like that makes me want to throw a link in the DM and get you to come on this watch along. Happy with what? Behind what scenes? What do you know that we don't? Get onto base because he's talking stuff that we don't know about. He supposedly might be on the set. This one, yeah, but when's this date? Oh, he does this. He does. You're gonna tell me privately, but you've just come on a live and said it. What that's the most that's anticlimactical comments base. You just feed it out like, yeah, yeah, you're gonna get some. Guess what I know? And then you just pull it back in. Fight fan live, yeah, keep it private. I wouldn't have said nothing on the live. I would have been anyway. We have got sorry, if you've just joined, I'm Abs of October Red. This is our watch along. We've had a watch along marathon. Ah, that's where I was going. I knew I forgot something. Quite a few people had a lot to say about me speaking with Blue Bloods Sports. And I just want to make one thing clear. I'm independent. Yeah. I do what I do. This is a hobby that you could say that has spiraled out of control. I'm not loyal to anybody within the sport. I do what I want to do. And if I want to go and speak to somebody on somebody else's channel, or I want to have them as a guest on my channel, I will. I understand that, some of the American channels have got a reputation for like proper going at it with the Brits, with certain fighters. I get that. But you have to understand that the way to move forward, and it's a little bit of a business strategy, that the way that you move forward is collaboration. You have to start to collaborate with people. Collaboration is key. And he's not up of mine. It's not like I'm sitting down with somebody that I don't like. That I wouldn't do. But I don't know him like that. Are his views different to mine? Yeah, they are, but that always makes a good debate, and I'm always up for a good debate. I don't want to sit down with people that we're going to be in agreement all the time. Don't get me wrong, I don't want a slanging match because we don't need to do that either. But that difference in opinion is good. So if anybody's got a problem with me speaking to anybody from any other channel, honestly, it's just simple. Just don't watch. It's just that simple. But I will continue to do what I'm doing. Don't get me wrong. If it ends up burning my fingers, then so be it. You can all sit there and laugh at me and say, "Oh, I told you so." But just leave me to do what I'm doing. That's the only thing I'll ask you. And you don't have to watch. You don't have to watch. That's the brilliant thing. You can just mute, switch off, watch something else. I saw Eddie Hearn sit down with Oscar De La Hoya. And them two have been going at it since what? Since Eddie took Canelo, if you want to look at it like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, whatever. It's not that deep. Yeah, he is. Mr. Flash, he definitely is. Base, you're naughty for that. You're naughty. You don't need to explain yourself, Red. You do your thing. Yeah, but sometimes I feel that I do, because if you don't understand the way I am, you may expect certain things. And like I said, I'm a bit of a social butterfly. I will go wherever the hell I want. That's just it. And I do like collaborating with people. And you can learn a thing or two when you go onto the other side of the fence as well. Because I've got biases. I know I've got biases. Everyone has. Just some people prepared to admit it and some people aren't. So I don't know, people were kicking off. I've had a couple of messages like, "Why are you doing a live?" Because I want to. Moses Atuma, I'm just looking at him there. They're just showing some reruns. I need to get back to boxing. We're going to do comms for this. We've got 3 fights left on the card. And obviously this is one of them that I'm looking forward to watch. A 19-year-old Southpaw heavyweight that is quite indifferent when he speaks. Somebody that does let his work speak for him. He knows how to put his shots together. He's calm. He's composed. And what I like about him, and some people might find this strange, is he's never happy with his performances. He doesn't want to give himself that pat on the back. And that's why you can see he doesn't want to get gassed on his own hype. And I like that about him, because he's like, no, I could have done better. And that's kind of like my attitude. He doesn't take compliments well. But because of that, he'll have this drive and he'll be like, no, I want to do better. So that's kind of like what's drawn my attention. to him to have a little bit of interest in what he's doing. Um, yeah, I'll keep doing it anyway, but I do like to have that relationship with the viewers, the listeners. You know, I just need to let that's what I'm about. Watch the interview with Blue Bloods was actually quite chill. He was capping on the AJ Wilder negotiations, though we all knew Wilder ducked AJ loads of times, but Abs did take it easy on him. No, I just told him my view. I said there's going to be an American view. Well, you can watch it back. There's going to be an American view. There's going to be a British view. And then I mentioned about obviously Eddie Hearn flying out to New York, all of that, etc. It's all there. It's still on the live, which is obviously not live now, but you can watch it. So yeah, and then he had his reasons, and that's it. We will agree to disagree on that, but I'm gonna take the side of Hearn and AJ with that because it was just obvious. And then obviously when Wilder said I didn't take or I took less money to fight you, blah blah blah, and then Blue said no, that was because of something else. But people in the chat said, "Watch, he's going to spin it." But it was a good debate. Fight fan, your collabs are big. It's given me the kick up the jacksie to up my collaboration game when I'm back off vacation, as that is the way forward. Yeah, it is honestly collaborations are they're really good because it keeps you learn to have like an open opinion on things, and it teaches you about your own biases. Because sometimes I think I'll put my hands up and say, yeah, I'm biased. But then when I deep it, I don't actually realize actually how biased I am. So yeah, it's good to have differences in opinion. An American point of view on boxing and the UK point of view on boxing is worlds apart. So I think it's a good thing. And I'm going to continue to do it. And those of you that liked it, will be back again, same time, probably Wednesday this week, doing it again. Also, Boxing Beats and Rhymes. He's coming back over again. So I think that might be probably on the Tuesday, same time as well. So yeah, you know what to do. Get notified. It's usually around 8 o'clock, 8:30 time when everyone's at home chilling. So yeah. Oh, you can do it next time if you want, Mr. Flash, because yeah, we're doing it again next week. So what are your thoughts on Moses then? Because he's somebody that doesn't believe in his own hype. So what do you think about him? How far do you think he's going to go? Let's have a look. We're still waiting for the announcement for the English title with the current holder, Dakers, versus Adelaide. Do not know what the hell's going on with that. The BBFC ordered that them two fight each other with a caveat. And those of you that are experienced in looking at the circulars from the BBFC, do they usually place a caveat in the circular that whoever wins must? So you two can fight, but whoever wins must challenge Moses Atuma. I haven't seen that before, but I'm sure there's some experts in the chat that will be able to say, yes, that's normal. So I think there was an interview done, I think it was Boxing Social, so credit to them, where there's some mention about that fight. And Moses has said that they've sent out an offer, or they've like said, what you're saying, do you want to take this fight? And it's been declined because obviously, is there any benefit in Dakers fighting Moses when really he wants to fight Adelaide, stay in the rankings? I don't know where Moses is. I should get Box Rep Cup and then push for the British, because Dakers has always made it clear that he wants to fight the winner of the fight that we've got coming up next, Fabio Wardley, Fraser Clark. That's the fight that he wants. So let's have a look. Moses has got an aura. He'll be really dangerous in a few years. Yeah, he's 19. But like I said, I like his don't give me any compliments. Don't do that. I'm going to work hard. That attitude I can deal with. I love it. No, I didn't go to the weigh-in. I just went to the press conference yesterday. It's almost ringwalk time. Johnny Fisher versus Moses Atuma on the Matchroom fight. Yes, yes, I could see that. I could see that. Mr. Flash telling you guys something about him, got that aura. Stars are made a similar feeling when AJ burst onto the scene way back in the day. Fair play. I'm going to call it, can I call you Septic Peg instead of Mystic Meg? Do you remember Mystic Meg back in the day? She did all like the tarot stuff. Mr. Flash. Yeah, our first fighter is in the ring. Apparently, this fighter took it on extremely short notice, possible days. I don't even think it was 7. I don't even think we got to a week. Right, the caveat, let's have a look, Fight Fan. The caveat may have been put in by Frank. Moses probably took a little step aside, change, as it's all in house with those 3 fighters. Can you elaborate some more in the chat, Danny? Take step aside for what? Step aside from who? Let us know. He's walking out now. Keeps his afro. Yeah, he keeps his afro. I like that. I need to know what that caveat, when you say that about the step aside, that's got me intrigued. Right, Moses is in the ring as he taps his gloves together, flicks out the wrist, make sure those hands are nice and loose. He's stretching. Into the blue corner he goes, takes a sip of water from his coach, and we are getting ready for those announcements. I don't think so, because the geezers took it at short notice. He took it at short notice, extremely short notice. We'll see. Let's have a look at his face. Mark Bates is the referee. I'll tell you what, last week was hilarious as well. Richard Towers in the corner, but we'll get back to that in a bit. That cornering had me in stitches. All right, let's have a look at this kid. So, he's British. He's 38. 6'5". He's 38. Southpaw. Ugh. I didn't know he's 38. Oh dear. 38 weeks notice, what we're saying, guys. But it is heavyweight boxing. I could say this now. Imagine if he just lands a shot. Nah, let's not do this. Let's be positive. Moles is a baby, 19. What was you lot doing when you were 19? Look at him, he's already boxed in Saudi. Right, he's 6'4", 17 stone, 3, and southpaw. I need to have a look at his trainer. Don't know much about his trainer. Alan Smith. Danny, can you tell me about his trainer, Alan Smith? I know you know all the boxing trainers from London. Let's have a look. You know what I like about him? He doesn't come in like a bodybuilder either. He looks in shape, but he doesn't, he's a boxer, isn't he? Let's have a look. He's so indifferent. Referee reading them the rights as they touch glove and walk back to their respective corners. Moses takes a dip and throws a cross across his chest. They say that they wish for the health of themselves and their opponent when they do that. I need to ask the fighters about that. The religious ones. Here we go. Round 1. Nice. 2 southpaws. Moses takes the center of the ring. We're getting some feints from his opponent. Moses takes his time that ring looks really small. Moses takes his time as he walks forward. We're getting circular motions from the opponent. Moses just straight in there for the headshot. Great. Yeah, backhand. I think he slipped. Get up. Yeah, he's just slipped. His opponent slipped then. Moses did land a nice shot on the cheek of his opponent. I don't even know what his name is. Hold on. On the back foot already. You can see his opponent's not really wanting to come forward. His legs have gone from the opponent. From Moses has thrown a couple of shots in. He's tucking up. He's running. Unsteady on his feet as Moses there dips in. Doesn't rush, but looks to take a shot. Just skims in with a screw shot there. That would have been beautiful if it landed. Opponent's back on the ropes. He tries to cling on to Moses. Slightly in a clinch there. The ref separates them. Oh, lovely counter there. I like he does this screw shot. He's done it before, but he does it with his lead hand, not his backhand. He feinted a shot in there, stepped in, punched straight in the face. We've got what, a minute and a half left in the first round. Dominant performance so far from the young Moses against this 38-year-old that's taken this fight at short notice. He's trying to give something back. He's trying to counter, but he's missing the shots. He throws out the jab. This is the opponent, by the way, but nothing meaningful. Both men are now in the clinch once again. Ref separates. Okay, we've got 58 seconds left. Those that you said it might be a round, might go into round two. Let's see. Moses pushes him back. Look, beautiful. Once again, a counter on the chin. Let's have a look. Body shot, head shot, hook, barrage of shots coming in. Oh, they've waved it off. See, because I haven't got the sound and I can't put the sound on. I need to have a look. Okay. What we saying in the guy? Oh, Eddie Lamb's in his corner as well. Oh, I thought that was Rutherford then from up north, but it's not, is it? He's smiling. He'll easily be a millionaire. Easily. Easily, very, very soon. Right. Overhand with the left. Jabbed him back out. That's when the legs went. You could see him was doing a bit of the skanky leg. Straight away, he's on the back foot. This is from the replay. Screw shot. Covers up. I don't know. In the chat, I thought he could have carried on. Right, let's have a look. Not saying that he wouldn't have done the same thing 30 seconds later. Don't get me wrong, but anyway. Right, the caveat may have been put in. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Right, step aside. Step aside for the English title, as Moses may have been mandatory first, but Frank wants Adelaide versus Dacus first, but promised Moses the winner. Ah, all right, I'm with you. And he's got all three guys. Thank you. Yeah, that's totally clear. Thank you. At 19 years old, you're a baby father. You know what? And I was a mother. I was a mother at 19. And now look at this young chap on his way to making millions in the sport that you and I sit down and watch practically every weekend. I was working at 19, as you do. 19, body yet to fill out. He's still a baby, and that's for Mr. Flash. Fight fan. I knew you'd know the coach. Yeah, Alan Smith, decent trainer, been around for years. Has Eddie Lamb, which we've just seen as his right-hand man, trained Bradley Skeet. Okay, now here we are. Gary Walcombe, Sam Webb, John Garton, etc. And even trained Tunde back in the day. Phenomenal knowledge coming in there. Should I call you Danny Knowledge? Shall I call you Danny the Encyclopedia? Because I know you say this master aficionado or whatever it is. I'm not really with the master thing. It doesn't sit right with me. But I'll call you Encyclopedia though. Right, let's have a look. He teaches his fighter to keep it real, basic 1-2 away method, safety first approach. He likes Alan Smith. I was around him for many years. Frank Maloney's and Fight Factory in Deptford. See? Fight Fan. Get him on your channel, Fight Fan. Fight Fan, you're doing some really good pods. Get him on the channel. Get Alan Smith on the channel. I wanted to see more than that, I can't lie, yeah. Moses looks like the truth. Stopped too early. But the dude wasn't defending himself. He wasn't, was he? Oh, I think my favourites just entered the chat and I've got to stop saying that. Hold on a minute. Yeah. He's too dangerous for a boxer to turn. Nah. Canelo turned at, what was Canelo, 15 or 16? I can't remember. Nah, I don't think it is. AP, good evening. You forgot there was boxing. How dare you? AP was in that chat last week, and half of the stuff that he was putting in the chat when I was live with Blue Bloods, I couldn't even put it on the screen. he was causing havoc. I even wrote you in the comments, AP, but good evening to you as well. Let me know what Moses is saying, because I can't turn it up because I'm not getting copywritten. Nice one, Danny. Will do. I'm going to holler at him. He's definitely got a story to tell. Yeah, definitely. I'll listen to that. And yeah, Canelo was 15 years. Yeah, 19. No, I don't think it's too young. How many fighters do you hear? And credit to the Olympians, but they spend so much time. They come out of the amateurs with like injuries that tend to, I don't know, worsen when they get into the pros. Different type of fighting. A few of them end up having operations before they even get settled into being a pro boxer. No, I'm not saying that, if you come from a white collar, no amateur, whatever, that you can't get injuries. But I just think the amateurs is not for everybody. So could he have gone on to the Olympics and done what he did? Yeah, maybe. But he's made it quite clear that he's all about his family. I think he said he wanted to make sure he could buy his mum a house and stuff like that. He's got very, very good core values. And obviously, you ain't going to get that type of money if you're an amateur. Don't get me wrong. You go on to win a medal, your price goes up, and then you have this bidding war, as we saw with Sky Sports and we saw with Boxer and Matchroom when the Olympians came out. And the majority of them, it was only Yafai that went to Matchroom in the end. I wonder if any of those guys are regretting their decision now, though. Interesting. What's his trainer saying? Can't even listen to this. I need to get this app on my phone. Cannot hear a word his trainer is saying. Right, so we've got Willie Hutchinson next with Martin against Martin Huben. And then obviously the main card after that. I will be doing another watch along tomorrow night for the Matchroom card. So please, if you're not doing anything, come back and join us then. I really wouldn't mind listening to what he was saying. Moses is doing what he needs to. Still so young. I'd lay off him before I start moaning about who he's fighting. Yeah, we do that a lot though, aren't we? We're greedy buggers. Mike Tyson was world champion at 20. 19, defo not too young. Even Floyd Patterson was at 21. he definitely did not. There's no way he said that. I kept it light the other night for the sake of your channel, but I could have cooked your guest. Yeah. Like I said, Mr. A, I people were coming for me after that. People going on at me about why is he on your channel. So I just did a little speech to say, I will do what I like. What do you mean? Are you saying I'm behind on the stream? Am I having this, James? You can't say that. It's not already done. You're teasing me now. And you'll be happy to know, Mr. A, that Blue Bloods is coming back on the channel, I think, Wednesday. That it can't be done. Hold on. It's my... hold on. They do need to step up Atuma's opposition now. Not going to put him in there with killers, but at least people that'll test him. Don't you think there's anything wrong with not, when you say padding his record, building him properly? You don't need to rush him. He's been absolutely... I think he's been built properly. Like I said to you before, I think that Frank Warren is building him the right way. How are you saying that fight's done? It can't be. Second round KO. I can't be behind on that. James, is James capping or am I behind again on this BT app? I can't be because you lot would have said so already. Has James got his crystal ball out? I think Mosey. I think they need to just take their time with Moses. I don't think they need to. They don't need to rush him. And like if Frank's, like you said earlier, Danny, that he's putting in caveats into, potential, like promising him you're gonna get certain fights. Then David Adelaide, Solomon Dakers is a good step up for him. So if he's, but if Frank's prepared to put him in that mix, I don't see there's anything. I don't see there's anything wrong with that. He just needs to just keep building and don't rush him. You often spoil your food. You rush to make a good dinner, and you'll often spoil it. So just let him run. Let him run. Let the promoters, let his management, let his team do what they're doing with him. Fair enough. He's going to get to the point where he's going to struggle to find opponents anyway. So not rush him, but knock over jobs don't teach him anything. Look what happened with Dubois and Yard. Now I hear what you're saying. But sometimes, I get it. You have like a disparity with winning records, but we've seen what some of these so-called journeymen can do if you're not up for it. He's still up for it, and he still controls the fight. There's not one fight that I've seen him in where he looks out of control, looks like he's on the back foot, looking like he's in any trouble. But then you could say that some other opponents, because he's been through a couple of opponents that have been recycled, he's looked quite competent in there. Oh, sorry. Yeah, ignore me. I panicked then. You know what I'm looking at? I'm looking at box rec instead of the proper running order. Ignore me, James. I almost had a panic attack then because I thought I was delayed. All right, yeah, so it's the main event. Oh my God. So you telling me that it's before midnight and the main event's next? This ain't right. This ain't a proper Frank Warren card. I was expecting to be here till 1 o'clock in the morning. Right, he's 19, remember. Johnny Fisher is only southern area and he's a lot older. He's got time. Remember, he's not done Commonwealth or Olympic Games. Did he even win the ABAs? I don't know. Base might know that, how far his fighting experience has gone. But another one that's come through that, and he's fought some good opponents. He's Fabio Wardley. He's come from the white collar background, and he's done well, and he's learned about the business side of boxing, and he's able to, manage himself and make some money, and somebody that's able to flip between whatever promoter he wants to work with. He's worked with Matchroom, he's worked with Queensbury, and now he's working with Sky Sports Boxer. Haney Garcia, gloves are up, is it? 10 p.m. 10 p.m. UK time or their time, Chris? I find it's going to be our time, isn't it? I find it strange. 1 month away from the fight, it's usually a week. When they do that, is very suspicious. So, well, I'm not sure the fight's going to happen, if I'm honest, Chris. Right, with this fight, and it's almost like you read my mind, Jack James Daniels. I've seen some footage of, and it shout out to Ringwalk Media, lovely guy, who showed me a bit of footage of Leon Willing, another short notice opponent, but an opponent I've been assured that has been working extremely hard in camp because he may have been a name that was put forward for this fight initially. He looks like he can move. He looks like he can anticipate shots, and I've seen him slip and dip and bob and weave, but I haven't seen him in there, and none of us have seen him in there with Ben Whittaker. So let's see how it goes. Ben has openly said he wants tougher fights. Apparently, this Leon is quite good. I've only seen glimpses of what he can do, but I'm looking forward to it. Progression is key, and I know that Ben sort of wants to charge forward, but he's kind of like being held back. So let's see. 10 p.m. main event is the usual main event time. It's just the past few years promoters have been longing it out till midnight. Yeah. Chris Welsh, how many baddies have you slayed this week? You're going to get his blood pressure up, AP. You know he doesn't talk about the ladies. Do you like my Day of Reckoning cup? Chris has been very studious and kept away from the ladies. But hopefully one day, Chris will come on here and he'll say, you know what, Red? You know what, Abs? I've met this lovely woman and we're going to settle down and live happily ever after. You know, dreams do come true. See, what's Frank Warren saying now? Because I can't even... Don't bite. Just don't bite. Just leave it. Just ignore it. It's pointless. What's Frank saying about Moses? Because I can't turn the volume up unless I mute this. Waved him off quick though. I do think it might have been a bit premature. No, he wasn't giving anything back. Yes, it was likely going to end anyway. But this is zero commentary, zero input. We'll see. Yeah, Ben Whittaker. I'm looking forward to that fight. To be fair, that card's quite stacked. What are you thinking about Vidal Riley and Mikhail Lowell? Mikhail Lowell coming off the loss with Isaac Chamberlain. Is Isaac Chamberlain going to fight Chev Clark, or is he going to vacate and go the European route? Who knows? Because, like I said, so when it gets to cross promo, it just gets all tangled and messy. I think I don't know who put it up on X. There's an article with not Caroline Dubois, Beatrix Ferreira, I think, complaining that Caroline Dubois didn't want the fight with her. Sure, I saw something, but it was in Spanish, and I obviously can't read Spanish, but the headline was in English. So yeah, anytime it gets to that, it just gets all tangled. Let's have a look. Did Sandy Ryan have an acrimonious... Yes, they parted ways civilly. I haven't heard anything different. But breakups are breakups, aren't they? He's trained her since she was, 13 years old? And then obviously she went off to GB. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of emotion because he's had her from the beginning. But I think I might have seen something on X where there might have been a little bit of brief toing and froing, but nothing more than expected. At least TNT Sports broadcast was quicker than the DAZN. I had a really good conversation with Alfie Sharman from DAZN. And we're speaking about, you're probably not interested in this because I'm quite interested in marketing, business, growth, sales, and how you can make the business better. And it's quite an interesting conversation. If you're interested in the business side, we also touched on a bit of piracy because, as you know, the figures were released of the pay-per-view of Knockout Chaos in America. And they were very low. So, yeah. Subtitles. Because it's greyed out. It won't let me do it. It's there to do, but it's greyed out. Oh, look, and Fight Fan echoes it. Yes, there was an acrimonious breakup. It's one of them, ain't it? She seems quite happy with her new team as well. I know her old strength and conditioning coach has gone up there to be with her as well. So, yeah, she's looking ready, looking phenomenal, looking in shape. Oh, bless. I'm going to try and get Sean George back on the channel as well, to have a catch up. Hopefully, I can get him on there and just obviously talk about what happened with Zhang in the bout as well. He's somebody that's straight talking, so he's somebody that's not afraid to give his opinion. He said a couple of things and got them wrong, and that's fine. We all get things wrong now and again. So hopefully I can get him back on the channel soon, especially now that I'd probably wait until it's actually finalized and announced properly that Wilder's going to fight Zhang. Because at the moment, there's still that little bit of it's not quite done yet. So I don't want to bring him on and then it's going to cause chaos because the fight isn't actually signed. So I'm definitely going to try and get him back on. I've reached out to Ben Davis and I can't seem to get him on anymore. Get him on before. I used to, if I was at an event and he was there, I'd get to speak to him, but I haven't been able to speak to him this time. Bloody Chris, you're so cold. Who broke your heart, Chris? Breakups happen. Get on with it. Yeah, thanks, James. It was really good, and I like the Mike Costello one. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was so good to see how passionate Mike was about grassroots boxing. Obviously, coming from the Lynn Gym, which is another gym that Danny from Fight Fan TV is linked to as well. So when we went, because it was after the press conference, I think there was only two media, and I was one of them that went over to this gym in Sheffield, and unfortunately the gym is shutting down. They're not the premises, they can't keep the premises, so they're homeless. So I don't know how many kids in there, maybe 30 to 40 kids that are in the gym. And then just to see Mike Costello like just get really engrossed in like the training and saying, look, you got fighters on two bags. That's how it was because, our gym was small and you don't realize the importance of boxing, which kind of followed on from the community development guy, Alex Legavel, who went to Parliament last week. Sorry, it's last week now, isn't it? No, we're on Friday. Yeah. So he went to Parliament and put all his stats and his figures because every time they do Matchroom in the community, what they're doing is they give out feedback. So they obtain a lot of information about the gym, obviously the area, the pupils that attend the gym, as in age, whatever, all sorts of stuff. And they're able to put like loads of data towards, made a presentation and presented that to the guys in Parliament across all parties, not just Conservative, not just Labour, and to see if they can get some money back into the community. And to me, that's important because one thing I will say, and like I said, maybe this is the mum in me, boxing gives hope. It really does give hope and dreams. And listening to some of them kids saying, I could have done this was happening to me, and I came into boxing and now I'm getting better. And it's just that so much comes with it. They may never go on to fight professional or go to the Olympics or whatever, but they'll have those core values put in them from the gym, because one thing that boxing teaches is discipline, routine, time management. Obviously there's the fitness and the health side of it. So yeah, I think it's really good that they're doing that, and it's a fact that it's got as far as the Houses of Parliament. And I think they were saying maybe they're going to do other stuff, but I'll let Matchroom fill that out to you. And I want to, piss on their chips, so to speak. Excuse my French. Right. Wilder Zhang was rumoured for AJ and Garnu. Pretty sure, but it didn't happen. Yeah, with it, like I said, they're still in the process of signing contracts, aren't they? Hopefully those Sheffield boys, maybe some Dominics or don't know, maybe. But it just depends how. The thing is, with the boxing gyms, lots of people go to them because they're easy to get to. They're down the road. I met a couple of kids in there that just walk to the gym. It's convenient. I don't know Sheffield. I don't know where the Ingle gym is in comparison to that. But there's going to be lots of smaller gyms that we don't know about that just haven't got the funding to keep open because these guys ain't getting paid for it, are they? He needs to stay in the mix. Craig Richards, Lyndon Arthur. There's fights out there for Dan Aziz. One thing that Dan Aziz shouldn't do is just stop boxing. He's just this poor. You're gonna give this poor geezer a heart attack on here. AP, did you box as well? Let's have a look. I cannot literally 21:55, and we're having the main event on Queensbury. This is insane. I'm gonna be in bed by 10:30 after I scrub this war paint off my face. Yeah, he's doing his stretches. Brilliant. I think I saw Dan Aziz. Was he out with Johnny Nelson and Spencer Oliver? I think there's a new gym that's opened up, and they were doing some media in regards to that. I think I've seen Antoine Allen. It may have been on ITV News. You know, the first one's doing his walkout. He's hyping himself up there. He's cheering. He's shouting as he walks out. The dark lights as he climbs through the ropes, hyping up the crowd. Obviously sold some tickets. I can't hear anything, but I'm going to presume that the crowd are happy that he's there. They might be booing because it'd be a wave fighter. Let's have a look. I don't know. Come on. York Hall looks so like beautiful on the TV, doesn't it? I tell you, the one that Boxer had in Wolverhampton, it's just like York Hall, just more modern, but it was exactly the same. Oh, here we go. They're clapping, hyping him up. He's got some lovely garments on as he does a bit of shadow boxing, keeps warm, shakes it all out. You know, I always want to know that moment there when the fighters are walking out towards the ring, they hear the music, they hear the crowd, or do they hear anything? Do they block it out? What are they feeling at that time? You know, did the nerves leave them? Have they got any nerves? Does the excitement start to kick in? I often see, you know, when fighters get like interviewed in changing rooms, and I just feel terrible for them, because the last thing I'm not saying everyone thinks like me, but the last thing I'd want to be doing before I'm going in the ring to fight with someone is for somebody to ask me how I'm feeling, or I'll be just like, I'm not going to swear, but I wouldn't be pleasant. Let's have a look at the chat. Thoughts on Katie Taylor potentially fighting Serrano next, rather than Chantal Cameron? If I was Chantal, I'd be pissed. It's a tricky one with that. I guess Katie Taylor is now the A side, and I don't know. It's tricky with Chantal. She's a really good fighter. She is. She's a really good fighter. It's a tricky position that she's in, but she's moved gyms. I believe that she suggested that she'll take less money. I don't know. But I do like the fight with Serrano, if I'm honest. Amanda Serrano. I think Eddie said that there will be a trilogy, it just might not be yet. Don's too seasoned at the moment, G-Chain. Whittaker's not a 12-round fighter yet. Oh, I'll take it, talking about his opponent. Yep, up until mid-teens. Didn't have any fights, though. Didn't see the sense in getting a flat nose. For a plastic. Oh. Hilarious. No, because we all have an interest in it for some reason. I did it for fitness. I've sparred, but I've never had like an amateur or a white collar. I primarily got into it like to keep fit, because to me it's epic for fitness. But yeah, so I hear you, bro. Too early to throw him in with Aziz, but I'd like to see that. Oh, what, Ben Whittaker and Dan Aziz? I don't think it's too early. I think that fight could happen now. I do believe that. What did Yafai go for in his first fight? Was it a WBC silver? I can't remember what belt he went for when he turned over pro. The Olympian, the last brother. I think we could go in with why not? And I think I think he would do it. You hear the music, you don't really hear the crowd. It was weird. Knees slightly shaking as you walk up the stairs. Always worried I didn't trip up them. Yeah, I think I'm with you with that. I think that would be me as well. Because I've been like backstage when the fighters are going up towards the ring, and I get nervous for them, but then you kind of back off because you don't want that energy transferring onto them. You know, sometimes when Eddie said that he's gone in the changing room with Anthony Joshua and it's like a morgue, it's that energy that's shifting around the room. So I'd rather just be on the other side of the door or I'll see you after. Do you know what I mean? In the shadows. Yeah, yeah, James. Chantal's a good fighter, but seems to complain a lot, always moaning. And on that note, let's watch this fight then. Right. Our work is on the back foot, throwing some shots, laying on the front foot, centre of the ring. Rourke is throwing the shots at him. Let's have a look. We're getting the 1-2 from Bourke on the back foot. Lane comes forward, throwing some shots. Kind of wild, actually. He needs to be mindful he doesn't get countered. When he's throwing the shots, he's not really resetting his hands. His hands are down. There we go. He got caught with a counter from Bourke there. He's put his hands back up now, but yeah, he's very open. It just seems like Lane may be an aggressive, come forward fighter, but he's quite wild in his shots. Tied up Bourke there, though. Ref separates the two. 1-2 coming in from Bourke. He goes for the side of the head and the body. More active out the two is definitely Bourke, but Lane's quite wild with his shots. And quite comfortable to fight on the back foot as well as Lane comes forward. But he's getting countered. 1-2, once again from Bourke. As he moves, he pivots off to the side. Goes towards the ropes, but he's still able to move off them. Yeah, parrying a shot. Coming in from Lane. Lane's like he's cutting off the ring. One, two coming in from Bourke again, who is still on the back foot. What we need to see here is probably some power from Bourke to get that respect from Lane, because Lane is literally just piling in, continuously coming forward. The ref separates the two again. I mean, don't get me wrong, Bourke looks like the more competent fighter, even though a nice body shot went in there. Nice counter. Is that blood coming from the face of Lane? Or is his face just reddened? No, he smashed his nose in. Bourke's got him with a nice shot there. His nose is smashed. Bourke sees that and he continues to throw the backhand at it, ending his shots, literally now throwing single shots towards the nose of Lane. But Lane keeps coming forward, relentless. That's what we like to see. Oh, his nose is just blown a bit of blood out of that. Let's have a look. All right. Same here, just for fitness, but I also do. Oh, you did Taekwondo and enjoyed that much more. That's hard. Taekwondo's hard training as well. I don't really know anything about that. I used to watch martial arts, but never did it. I'll name this account later. Chantal was extremely unfortunate not to win the second fight. The knockdown at the start of the fight should have counted. Yep, I do agree with that. It easily could be 2-0 to Chantal. I'd need to watch the fight back, but I do remember the knockdown that they didn't give us a knockdown. And Mr. Flash there, liver shots against Lane to slow him down. I see the work Bourke's doing. Well, it's definitely worked on his face. Does this fight go the distance? Here we go, round 2 of 12. The clock's not long started. Lane once again comes forward, but tucks up, comes forward, throws in the body shots. Bourke on the ropes, trying to slip and slide, pushing him back. But we need to see some control here. Both men once again in the clinch. Really, that's it. Start to really stick that jab out. Move. Tie him up. Don't let him get close. But it's Lane that's doing that. It's Lane that's tying Bourke up. Okay, some inside work coming from the both of them. Lane's throwing some nice body shots into work. Bourke, he catches him with a counter. You know, I'm thinking of that film star. Is it Mickey O'Rourke? His name's Bourke. Needs to have like cards with the names on it so I don't get them wrong. Right, Lane jumps in there, leaping with a body shot. Bourke sort of like sticks the hand out, but tries to land the backhand. He's using the jab hand as like a marker. A bit of back foot work coming here from Bourke. Throws the backhand once again on the nose of Lane. Lane is literally coming forward as he can, throwing out that jab hand. Both men spinning, countering, punching, clinching on the inside. Some good inside work here. And we've just got, just under a minute and a half left of round 2. I think this might go the distance, you know, because that Lane's quite tough. He tucks up, goes under, tries to scrape the body shot. Bourke constantly on the back foot, throws in a body shot. That's nice. Lane moved back from that. He didn't like that. He stepped backwards. Some toe-to-toe action here. Some good footwork there from Bourke. But I need to see you really sit down on your shots and deliver some power, because Lane is not feeling that power. He's still walking forward. When he's hitting with the body shots, it's been quite nice. But other than that, he keeps coming forward. The tidy of the shots are from Bourke, but I'd like to see some proper use of the jab. Body shots of combination coming in from Lane, 1-2, followed by an uppercut that skimmed the face. The ref separates the men once again. And as per usual, Lane, front foot. It's getting scrappy now. It's getting scrappy. It's getting messy. The hands of Bourke are down. And the bell goes. Yeah, it's quite scrappy fight, this is. I'm just going to see if there is anything going on X. Let's have a look. A proper Taekwondo session is something like you've never... Really? See, I didn't think that would be the case. Let me just check and see what is happening on X tonight. Any more adverts? Any more fights? I think Jack mentioned earlier that Anthony Joshua was saying that he's just had a call from Saudi. Yeah, so we've seen that already. Okay, Misfits have put something up there. We'll skim over that. All right, Sonny Edwards has just tweeted Asomba is ringside watching Bourke Lane and atted Queensbury. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Something from David Benavides. It's made me take my glasses off. It looks like an Instagram post. David Benavides has atted, here we go, has atted Turki Al Sheikh. Let's bring the biggest and most exciting fight to Saudi Arabia. This will be the biggest Mexican v Mexican American fight in the history of boxing. And what better place to do it than the kingdom for the entire world to see? This fight is for the pride and glory. I fight for greatness, not money. Your Excellency, if I do not beat Canelo, I will donate my entire purse to any kids' charity of your liking. When I do beat Canelo, I'll be donating a huge amount of that purse to benefit children of hunger across the world. I'm a champion of the people, and I will continue to fight the best. I stand by my words. And he's added Premier Boxing, WBC, and Maurizio Suleiman. So Canelo earlier, yes, if one of my promoters that I've worked with before wants to pay 150 to 200 million dollars, then we can get it cracking. Benavidez writes a sincere, heartfelt Instagram post with a picture of him and Canelo on there, and pleads with Turki Al Sheikh to let that fight happen. Interesting. Let's have a look. Yeah, that was about 20 minutes ago that's been put up. Oh, then we get Cardi B and Shakira in the feed. Don't know why that is. Yeah, interesting. Right, we've got 20 seconds left in this round. Let's wait for this and I'll go back to the chat. 10 seconds left. And you've got it to Bourke, 2-0. Right, we've got the clappers going now. Yeah, he's more competent. Right, I'll name this account later. Chantal was... Oh, yeah, you did say that. I've got that bit. Right, liver shots against Lane. Slow him down. And you're saying 2-0 Bourke. Right, so what do we think about Okoli going up to go and get a belt at Bridgerweight with Ryzansky? We didn't even talk about that, did we? Oh, the Saudi comments coming. I can't blame David. Saudi is where it's at. Yeah, of course it is. Saudi is where the money is at. And it seems as if the promoters can't deliver in the home countries, they're going to go out to him. But he's got to see it as an investment, hasn't he? How much do you guys want to see Canelo versus Benavidez? Does that tantalize your taste buds? Is it a fight that you guys are like, yeah, I definitely want to see that? Oh, Dan Aziz, Willie Hutchinson, Daza, good evening. Yes. I want to see what happens then with that fight. It's going to be the demands of money from Saul Alvarez, I think. Right, these pair going at it again. The clinch ref, and he warns Lane for holding. Yeah, wild swings coming in once again from Lane, and yet again he's holding in. The ref taps him on there to try and say stop holding his arm. Body shots coming in, uppercuts coming in from Lane. Nice counter came back there when Bourke threw out a shot. Oh, Bourke caught him with a sweet one then. His leg slightly caved, but now Bourke's on the ropes. Comes out and clinches Lane. Oh, imagine if he'd finished that up. Oh, that would have been beautiful. Backhand coming out from Bourke. 1-2, but he just uses that jab hand as like a range finder. It's just, I get it, some fighters do it. I just see it as such a waste. It's almost like you're cheating. Use that jab and move. But Lane is relentless. He's just sticking on him like glue. Once again, they're going toe to toe. Once again, he's going to get warned by the ref for holding him. If he keeps doing it, he's going to get... Oh, he's just got a little telling off. Nice backhand coming in from Bourke once again. It's like he doesn't throw. It's like he feints the jab hand and then just comes in with the backhand from his southpaw stance. It's like there's not the one and the two. It's like the feint and then the two. Both men moving quite nicely around the ring. Lane is just relentless, isn't he? Nice front foot boxing. Here we go. We've got less than a minute. Yeah, we've any fighter they're going to want to go out there, but it just kind of like reiterates what was going on earlier this week with Canelo saying no, and then Benavidez saying, yeah, what you're saying, it's kind of like, yeah, we were asking for some dough. We'll see what happens. I'll bet you a few quid, even though I'm not a betting woman. But if I was, I'd bet you a few quid that Canelo, Saul Alvarez, and Eddie Hearn have been speaking to see if that's something. Yeah, because Eddie gets on quite well with him, doesn't he? So that'll be interesting. See what happens in the coming week. It's been a bit of a roller coaster for boxing anyway. I mean, tomorrow night we've got the Matchroom card. Next week, Sunday, we've got the Boxer card. Don't ask me about the week after that, but then I know on the 13th of April, we've got Zalfa Barrett. Obviously, the week after that was supposed to be Taylor Catterall 2, but obviously that's not happening. I'm just trying to think about the schedule. That's now a month later, isn't it? And then we're skipping into May. I know there's a few cards over in America, and forgive me for not mentioning them, or because I never tend to remember the American cards because of the time difference. But I'll tell you one good thing that I did learn from speaking to Blue Blood Sports is that they often use the excuse of having boxing on at 5 p.m. in the evening, that they don't like that. But he said it isn't a problem because their football games can run from like 1 p.m. in the afternoon and start, say, for example, at 8 p.m. at night. So they're saying that 5 p.m. is not a good time for boxing when really it is. And also that boxing is just not a priority in the States, which is quite sad because he listed like all of the sports. And this is me, my ignorance. You like were probably thinking, yeah, who didn't know that? I didn't know that. So he's listing like all of the sports, and basically boxing's at like the bottom of the pile. Sad. So it's like if you're not like a massive name, like a huge name, then you basically, you've had it. It's tough. So we're quite lucky. We're quite lucky here because we practically watch boxing every week. Fair enough, there's sometimes when there's none on, but the majority of the time there's always a fight on in the UK. I thought it was in round 3. I must be tripping. Running round 2. It can't be just in. I thought it was in round 3. I've got it. Oh no, I've pressed the rewind button, haven't I? I was thinking I'll show you in round 3. Yeah, that's better. Oh no, even better than that, we're in round 5. I must have pressed the rewind button. Let's have a look. Still much of the same, really. Relentless Lane, even with a pummeled face, he's still coming forward and throwing the 1-2. See, that was a better jab coming from Bourke then. I think that's the best time I've seen him throw a jab. Both men inside. Lane's quite aggressive on the inside, causing Bourke to try and run out of the corner. Interesting. I'm going to see what the comments are on David Benavidez' post. Let's have a look. I'm going to go have a mooch. David Benavidez. David Benavidez. Right, here we go. Let's have a look. Oh, there's quite a few comments on there. When did he put this post up? 31 minutes ago, and there's 1132. Oh, here we go. No, this is a Vegas fight. Mexican versus Ecuadorian. Don't be ashamed of your heritage, bud. David ain't giving Canelo no excuses. He's calling in the big guns. Give it up respectfully. You can't force it. Just move on. Seriously. Damn, you begging hard. An offer he can't refuse. Loads of different comments coming in here. Begging it. You really want this. Calling in the big guns. Leave it. Move on. this fight needs to be in America. And this is what's happening. Does it need to be in America? Or should the fighter go where the money is? I think we're so lucky to have Ben Shalom and box. You're brutal. You're brutal. Brutal. I'm never gonna get another conversation with him now because of you, AP, because he's gonna get his people to watch me on here and blame me for it, and I'm not doing anything. Boxer kind of froze a Coley out, screwed him out of the rematch with Billum. He's in no man's land. Looking back, he should have stayed with Matchroom, and AJ's team would have been making money on them Saudi cards. You know what they say, Mr. Flash? Hindsight is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it? What does he do? He comes over, he fights David Light. He defends, he gets the win, goes in against Chris Billum Smith, his old stablemate. He loses. And then he disappears. It was allegedly he'd signed to fight three people, 3-fight deal. Then it was written, we saw it, the announcement, Lawrence Okolie's, Chris Billum Smith has signed a contract to fight Lawrence Okolie in a rematch. And I was like, okay. And then it was like Richard Riakporhe was creeping up as a mandatory. And then people say, no, what's going to happen is Chris Billum Smith's going to have the rematch. And then whoever wins that fights Richard Riakporhe. And then that didn't happen. And then now Lawrence Okolie, then there was like rumours, he's going up in weight. Okay, fine. He's going up in weight. So that froze the signing of, yep, you'll have that rematch at that weight. Unless he drops back down to cruiser. It's not impossible, is it? It's not something that he can't do. But he goes up to Bridger. Fights the one that totaled Babbage. Somebody that's relentless. Somebody that will come to fight. And then goes for another world title. But then who's in that weight division? I thought Rivas was in that weight division. How many belts are in the Bridger weight, guys? Because I'm sure Rivas was a champion. But yeah, another weight category, some more belts to confuse the hell out of all of us here. And then we still don't have a fight date for Billum versus Riakporhe. So, White versus Bacoli. Oh my God, can you imagine that? They'd have to tape it. Well, you know what happened last? It was in Poland as well. It was the night Babbage lost his fight when he started mouthing off, and I will not say that on here. What he started mouthing off about. Bourke's holding on for dear life. Oh dear, Lane's going to stop him. He's going to stop him. He's not giving anything back. He's tucking up in the corner. The ref's having a close look. He's throwing him down on the floor, but he's saying it's not a knockdown. He's saying time out. No, it's not a knockdown. What did I tell you? That relentless. He's coming in for the kill now. Lane is going in for the kill. Body shots, head shots. Bourke is just taking it, caught a clean one on the face then. He's not giving anything back. Stop it. Yeah, he stopped it. Wow. Look at that. Look at the emotion from the team. Look at the emotion from the team. Congratulations. Oh dear, he looks like he doesn't know what day it is. Oh, he's took a beating, hasn't he? Doctor, have a look at him. Even though he's not, he actually splattered him. But yeah, congratulations. Winner stays on. Winner stays on. Listen, I'll probably get the blame anyway. You know, I get. No. You know, AP, one of the nights, I've got to send you the link. You don't have to put your face on camera, but you've got to come on. You've definitely got to come on. Definitely. Just so we can have that banter live. Okolie isn't a draw. Are boxers supposed to lose a fortune in putting on a Coley fights that hemorrhage money? Well, then you have to ask yourself, okay, you can say when they signed him, they bought the belt. That's a commodity, isn't it? You don't necessarily buy the fighter, you buy the belt. That's strategy. But they've got him for potentially 3 fights. Something has obviously gone skewiff somewhere in whatever has happened. But they're still going to have to pay him anyway because he's contracted to fight 3 fights. You talk about hemorrhaging money, they're going to end up losing out anyway. But let's see what happens after this fight. Will he extend his contract? I'm sure it was a 3-fight deal, which was published. It's not me well, I hope I'm not making things up out of thin air. I'm sure it was 3-fight deal. So unless he's extended his contract in the meantime, as he's progressed up to a higher weight, then I don't know. Oh, thank you. Just one belt, and it's at Bridger. And Rivas vacated, which is why Babbage fought for. Right, I thought Rivas had one, and there was another one. But thank you. I know, Base, your knowledge when it comes to belts is phenomenal. Wow, look at them liver shots. Relentless. Yeah, I'm shy too. We can be shy together. If you want, I'll turn my camera off. Some people will pray for that. You know, somebody said this really makes me laugh, and that's what I like about YouTube, because people have like various different opinions and what they're like, etc., etc. And I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Everyone's got different tastes. Twitter's just kind of like toxic. It's just Twitter's kind of full of strange people, but YouTube it's slightly different. But some of them, one of them said, "Yeah, I think it's best that you stay off camera." Which I thought, I'm going to dig my heels in now. I'm going to keep coming on camera every conversation that I have. But I get it. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I'll just come on camera sometimes. So I get it. You don't have to come on camera. Oh, well, in that case, Savage, I'll have to send the link out. Let me know. All you got to do is direct message me on Instagram, and I'll send you the link, and you can jump on tomorrow. Even if it's just for one fight, pick a fight and jump on. Chris, the same for you. If you want me to direct message you tomorrow, I think we'll switch it up, because I've done that many lives this week. I'm getting sick and tired of my own voice, if I'm going to be honest. So, Chris, AP, and one more, let me know. Direct message me, October Red Media. It might go to my requests folder, so I might not see it straight away. Let me know, and I'll send you the link tomorrow, and then jump on. You haven't got to go on camera. I get it. That's fine. And we can just talk through one of the fights. Yeah, let's do something different tomorrow. Just let me know. But yeah, other than that watch along ended. I mean, we haven't even touched 2 hours. So what I'm going to, yeah, it is, Chris. But I'll be back here tomorrow, 8:30. Like I said, direct message me. I think we can do 4, with myself included. So that's 3 people. If you want to jump on, let me know. So tomorrow night, back here for the Matchroom card. Because I can't hear the rest of this now, it's pointless me just carrying on waffling. Keep an eye on social media. We'll see what's happening in and around boxing. We'll catch up on that. But other than that, thank you very much to all of you that have showed out tonight, you beautiful people. And I'm going to have an early night. So I shall see you tomorrow, 8:30, same place. And you know what we say? Stay ready.